Hey, what's up, y'all? It's popping. It's D. About to react to this vid by Luasa. It's titled Drake's Dark History with Signing Artist OVO. Yikes. I feel like everybody is just on Drake's head right now. It's so wild to witness this shift because Drake has been at the top for so long and he's been loved by so many. And I feel like for the longest, it just felt like he could do no wrong. But now I feel like, the whole world is against him. I mean, obviously, he still has his core fan base, but just people are on this man's head. So it will be interesting to see how he bounces back from this. But yeah, let's see how this history is so dark. Let's watch. All right, so the first artist he mentioned was The Weeknd. Of course, I'm not gonna react to that part because I literally reacted to this story about 3, 4 times over the past month. So we already are very much aware of how that went down. So let's just start from this Party Next Door portion.
Artist by the name of Party Next Door, who permanently lives in Drake's shadow after he was signed to OVO. Much like The Weeknd, Party was another artist with raw vocals and a strong pen game, who Drake took notice of and began sharing his songs on Twitter. However, unlike The Weeknd, Drake actually got him to sign a contract to his label, and almost immediately, he began getting compared to Abel, which sparked tensions between them.
That something exists between The Weeknd and Party Next Door. I don't necessarily know what it is or where it stems from, but I felt like for the past few years, personally, The Weeknd has gone out of his way to step on any announcement or move that Party Next Door was trying to make. Now, if you tweet, yo, my album is coming in this month, and then some huge megastar comes and says, yo, drop it tonight.
Megastars don't do things on a whim.
That's what y'all keep telling me. But I don't think any of it is on a whim because clearly he had these things done. Party Next Door put a video out. Weeknd put a video out an hour later. So clearly the video was done.
Regardless, Party Next Door was extremely talented and should have exploded as an artist, but he never expected what would become of his career. At first, his stuff was performing really well, with his first studio mixtape peaking at number 34 on the charts. And he was receiving a lot of praise from his fans early on, with people saying that OVO might actually become a successful label. But as time went on, Drake's tendencies to yoink songs from artists that he signed got the better of him. As an entire Party Next Door song was featured as an interlude on Drake's album, If You're Reading This Is Too Late. The interlude served as a melodic break from the otherwise rap-heavy album. And just like The Weeknd, Party Next Door was initially appreciative of the exposure, since a lot more people would get to listen to what his songs typically sounded like on his own. However, he probably regretted this choice down the road and wishes he kept the song for his own album, because around this point, Party's career began to take a back seat, with many assuming OVO was the main issue. His debut studio album, Party Next Door 2, only sold 15,000 copies in its first week.
Oh, y'all missed out.
The songs which he was writing for Drake were doing numbers. Legend, Come and See Me, and With You were all Drake songs that Party either wrote entirely, produced, or was significantly involved with creating.
I recorded that song on the edge of a bed in an Airbnb, and yeah, I just didn't know it was gonna be
that. Man put on weight.
It's I love that record. That's one of my favorite records, and that was just magic.
At this point, it just seemed like Drake was signing artists who can help him write more bangers and create more hit songs. So it's no wonder that people might get OVO to Drake's personal writing camp rather than an actual label, or in the words of DJ Academics, it was literally a sweatshop.
No, I'm not saying it would have been better for The Weeknd, but I'm just saying the scope of music.
The sweatshop, bro? Like, I'm glad The Weeknd did his own thing.
Party Next Door went on to write a lot of songs on Drake's 2018 Scorpion album, which had a ludicrous first week sales number and a humongous amount of streams. He also wrote some hits for DJ Khaled, and even wrote 2 songs on Rihanna's Anti album, including Work, which won R&B Song of the Year and got Drake and Rihanna even more popularity. On the other hand, Party's second studio album, P3, which he released that same year, didn't perform nearly as amazing as the people he was writing for. Not to say that he was necessarily doing bad. I mean, the album peaked at number 1, but it couldn't be compared to Drizzy or Rihanna. Party clearly had an amazing pen and was also really good at producing, but he can never get past a certain level with his own music. Some people chalk this down to his voice not being as good as the people he writes for, while others believe it's the curse of being in Drake's shadow.
Party's pen is probably, I agree with y'all, it's probably more valuable today than his artistry, than him as an act himself, much like probably Neo when he came in the game. But I love Sex With Me, fucking Shanell, all the shit that Party is writing is my favorite song.
So essentially, you're naming all the songs he's writing for other people.
Well, I think Party's album is trash.
Yeah,
Now, we're not saying he's had an unsuccessful career. I mean, he still averages around 20 million monthly listeners on Spotify and has royalties for generations to come. For Party, there is still somewhat of a win-win with his affiliation on OVO. However, when it comes to I Love McConan, he literally got dropped from the label after what he did to the Six Star. During the beginning of the SoundCloud era in 2014, McConan was blowing up in Atlanta with his breakout song Tuesday and his EP I Don't Sell Molly No More. He was receiving a lot of attention from the music industry and even had his song shared by Miley Cyrus. But Drake saw the potential to make the song even bigger and got into contact with McConan through Sunny Digital.
Sonny hit me up like, yo, McConan, Drake said, you want to get on a song? I was like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even, know Drake. Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, he a famous artist and shit, but I was like, that's dope if you can make that happen.
Before anyone knew what was happening, a remix of the song had been made, and McConan had signed under OVO as an artist, which his manager thought was a bad idea.
These motherfuckers convinced him to take his own music down. That's when I knew he was lost. That's when I knew this motherfucker was lost.
What he's speaking about here is the deal which McConan had signed at OVO. He had two options: sign a contract as a one-time deal for the Tuesday remix, which would require him to pay Drake, or sign to OVO as an artist, but pay nothing and take down all of his old songs. At this point, McConan had 10 albums to his name, which was pretty significant for a newcomer, which is why his manager felt the second option was a bad deal, since they also had other offers on the table.
Now McConan got a hit produced by us. You know what I'm saying? But he signed to Mike Will and shit, though. OVO trying to get him, Mike Will trying to get him.
McConan was supposed to be the next big thing, and everyone was expecting him to pop off after signing a deal with one of the biggest artists in the world. But instead, his career basically just began to fall off of a cliff. His new studio album got delayed time after time, which seriously derailed the hype for new music. When asked about this, he stated that he wasn't being trusted and allowed to put out music when he wanted to, claiming that I Love McConan 2 had been ready for months, but it just hadn't been approved by the label. Although he did appear on one of Drake's tours, it kind of seemed like everyone at OVO didn't really like him. Drake already got what he wanted, which was the remix of his viral song, so there's not much attachment to McConan as an artist. And after old tweets surfaced of McConan dissing Drake and OVO, the whole situation got worse. His verses would be cut off on stage, he would no longer be able to get get help from producers, and had almost zero promotion on his album. However, McConan did try to defend himself, saying that the tweets were the work of hackers.
Like some trolls they pulled him up and stuff, and then OVO, Drake and them, they found out about him or whatever, and we kind of talked about it, but it looked bad out there and that, and we really didn't know each other, you know what I'm saying? Right. And then there was another time when my account got hacked by somebody, and they said, like, fuck OVO, fuck this, fuck that. So your account did get hacked? No, full on got hacked.
At the time, not many people bought into this, especially not the OVO crew. McConan continued to receive absolutely zero support from OVO, and was eventually confirmed to be dropped from the label after this hilariously bad freestyle came out.
Motherfucker said I got dropped. Haha, that's a motherfucking hip-hop shit. You know that's a motherfucking lie. Only place I drop that is in my goddamn pants side.
When this freestyle dropped, it caused a lot of people to further understand why OVO hadn't been letting him put out music frequently, as his stuff just wasn't.
And didn't he come out and say he was gay?
The album, which he claimed OVO delayed, wasn't very good when it released. And although McConan claimed that it would have done better if OVO let him release it in the summer, a lot of people felt McConan just got lazy after being signed. If you think about it, it makes a lot of sense why OVO wasn't pulling the stops out to support McConan. From Drake's perspective, it probably looked like McConan was an embarrassment for him and the rest of the OVO crew. Following the drama between them, Drake would press McConan at the 2016 VMAs, saying, "Woo woo woo, next time I'ma smack the shit out of you," which is such a Drake thing to say. When McConan finally got his total freedom, he explained all that he had been through at OVO and how it felt like a prison. He said he only saw Drake 3 times throughout his stay there, and that his music was never promoted. McConan ended up being a one-hit wonder, and his failure at OVO shouldn't have come as a surprise, since it had happened before with an other artist-producer duo, Majid Jordan. Majid Al-Mascati and Jordan Ullman are an artist-producer duo from Toronto, Canada, who went from making songs in their college dorm to eventually having one of their projects explode on SoundCloud. Their After Hours EP got them a ton of attention by Drizzy, and they immediately got signed to OVO since he doesn't play about his Canadian talent. After they got signed, Drake immediately extracted an instant classic from the duo called Hold On, We're Going Home, which peaked at number 4 and charted for 33 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100. However, not many people knew back then that the entire song was actually made by the duo and that Drake had just slapped his vocals onto it. This approach contributed to Drake's
that makes sense. It sounds like that.
Although he attempted to boost his artist by featuring different on their tracks, this strategy rarely translated into their music blowing up. For example, Majid Jordan's debut album featured Drake and still only sold 5,000 units in his first week, despite spending 5 weeks in the charts and receiving positive feedback. Ultimately, it struggled to break them into the mainstream.
Now, I haven't gotten Majid Jordan, who I like. If their EP was, if their album was as good as
they got a song that I love. What is it called?
After that, they released project after project, but none of them ended up doing spectacular. Part of the reason that the records didn't get much promotion could be the fact that their music didn't appeal to a wider audience. But Majid Jordan doesn't seem to care about the public perception of their music. They seem perfectly fine with riding the association with Drake and a respectable 8 million monthly Spotify listeners. Because why take the risk of going at it solo when you could probably ghostwrite for Drizzy and still get paid for doing music? This is especially true for artists who aren't that talented on their own. Which brings me to the last two artists we will discuss, Baka Not Nice.
Oh, that was their song.
Baka Not Nice and Smiley are two artists Drake seems
Wait, is that the Peter?
Genuine connection. Baka had been Drake's bodyguard since the early days and was signed as a way to help support
Small
him
Talk. I
after he
love
got
Small
released
Talk,
from
by the way.
jail. But his music didn't really slap.
I've
And
never
only
heard this man's
managed
music
to
in my
chart once
life.
in Canada in 2017. He still remains on the label, releasing tracks here and there. While Smiley is a more recent
Live Up to My
signing
Name,
who has
that's
a very,
him?
How do I say? Interesting style of rap.
She wanna be known, I wanna be my zone. She wanna be known, I wanna be my.
Yeah,
Is he
Drake has
mentally
not believed the
disabled?
allegation. This signing left fans a little stunned, as he probably has the least chance of making it in the hip-hop scene. Some are even coming up with pretty wild theories like, if I were betting, I'd say Smiley uses his rap career to launder for some sort of trafficking he does, allegedly. But I think that the reality is that Drake just seems to like his music and mess with him on a personal level. Because after his collaboration with Drake in 2021, he hasn't made any waves in the industry, and I just can't see what he could bring to OVO commercially at this moment. The story of OVO has been repetitive and unfruitful. It's been essentially the same for all of his signings. Drake signs them, hops on a song or two, then leaves them to fend for themselves. The artists either end up leaving the label like Plaza, who was initially hyped up to be the new Weeknd, or fade into the background
Why
like
he keep trying to
BBSN
find-
or Roy Woods, who were very talented artists, now regulated to the...
These were all his artists. Damn, they all did fade into the background. Roy Woods had this song that I love. Wait, I did not know these people were connected to Drake. Damn, he played all y'all niggas. Because y'all had some bops. What song did he have? Balance. Oh, and look, it makes sense. DVSN was on that song too. I love Balance. I used to play that song out. And then the other nigga that he mentioned, who was the last person he just mentioned? I'm appalled.
Who was initially hyped up to be the new Weeknd, or fade into the background...
Oh yeah, them. They got some bops too.
SN or Roy Woods, who were very talented artists, now regulated to the SWEATSHOP after a few hits. Recently, Drake signed his first female artist, Naomi Sharon, and the Texas industry plant Forbats, after hopping on a remix of his viral song, Date at 8. This follows a trend of broken dreams, and only time will tell...
That makes sense, because where the fuck did this song come from? I even found out about this song. I don't even know. But yeah, where the fuck you come from? And why you sound like that but look like this? Yeah, industry plant.
Just to survive the sweatshop.
And yeah, makes sense. Because when I saw that Drake was on the remix, I'm like, this is odd. This is a new artist and Drake already on the song with him. Like, this is suspicious. But it's because Drake signed him, I guess. And honestly, I feel like Drake made that song way worse. That's one of the few times where I felt like Drake was not needed at all. I don't think he added anything to that song. But damn. I did not know some of these artists were connected to him. And yeah, their talent is just wasted. It's so wild because people automatically think that if you're affiliated with somebody who's super popping, that you're going to start popping too. Like, it don't always mean that. It does not always translate. So, yeah, very unfortunate. Hopefully they can pick their careers up. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you're going to watch, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!